Hey guys, it's Di from BeingMommywithStyle, and today I'm going to be doing a wooden bead garland DIY. This is super quick and easy, and I'm just using a couple different types of this jute ribbon. This one I already had on hand for making the wreaths, the burlap wreaths that I make. And then I got this smaller size at Michael's for like $1.75, I believe. And then I got these large wood beads that are unfinished in the wood section at Michael's, and I'm just going to actually do an unfinished one. So I have done necklaces before, so this looks pretty straightforward, simple and easy. I've been seeing these in a lot of home pictures and I really love the look, so I thought I would tackle a DIY on my own. And I'm planning on putting them on the smaller strand of this and then just making like a little tassel out of the larger. This is a 3-ply that I have for the wreath making, and I'm thinking it should be pretty quick and easy. So I've got 3 bags of beads. I'm not sure how much I'm going to use. I'm just going to see how long that makes it. So I thought I'd take you along today and show you how I make this bead garland. So I'm just going to cut my smaller strand to about 3 feet, and it's just going to be approximately 3 feet, and then I can cut it down from there. And this is the thinner strand that I'm actually going to be putting the wooden beads onto. So I'm just going to be taking one side of the strand that I cut to approximately 3 feet, and I'm just going to tie a knot to kind of be my kind of stop point if I don't want the beads to go past that point. I'm going to go down to the other end where there is no knot. I'm just going to take the beads and put them on one by one. I mean, it's really as simple as it sounds. I'm just going to strand them just like you'd strand a necklace. And because it's all wood and natural, I mean, it goes on really easy, and they're not that tiny. These are the 1-inch size beads. So they're, you know, really easy to work with. This is actually easier than making a, you know, like beaded necklace or a beaded bracelet, because those beads are so much tinier. So I'm going to strand it, and I just want to make sure that I leave some room for some give so the beads can move around, so that way when I'm draping them around the house, you know, they can kind of go over the sides of baskets or however I want them to be displayed. So I'm just going to keep putting on the beads until I feel like I have enough on there. I'm anticipating I'll probably use around, I'm thinking, 2 bags of this, and I'm going to go get some tape. One thing that you can do when you're beading is just put a little bit of tape so that's a flat edge, and then that makes the beads even quicker and easier to go over the edge because it starts to unravel the more beads that you put on there. But I'm just going to keep doing this all the way down. So I'm just taking a little piece of tape and I'm just going to wrap that around the edge. That's something really common when you're beading, just to kind of make it stay so that it doesn't fray. So I've put that around the edge. I'm just going to keep beading all the way down until I have the first bag on there, and then start on my second bag and then see how long that makes my strand. And I've used up 1 bag of the beads, and this is 18 1-inch beads, and they were about $4 at Michael's, and I did use a coupon, 40% off coupon on one of them. So I didn't know if it would equate into exactly, you know, a 1 to 1 inch, and because I want there to be a little bit of give, here's where it actually ends up down here as far as how long 1 bag is. So I'm going to put on a second bag, and I think that a second bag will probably be about as long as I want it to be. So I'm just going to continue the same thing all the way down and strand the second bag of beads. So this is 2 bags of beads, and I think that this is definitely long enough. And you can kind of drape this around vases, you can put it around mugs. I'm going to use it on my new mug stand that we have probably, or in a basket. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make some tassels out of this larger jute, and I'm just going to take this twine and cut it to double the length that I want the tassel to be. So if I want the tassel to be about that length, I'm just going to cut it in a number of strands, and I'm thinking like 10 strands for each side that are all the same length. So this is how thick 10 strands of about the same varying length are. And what I'm planning on doing is just tying these to the end of my beaded garland, just with this extra string that I had hanging off the end of the beads. And I'm just gonna knot this here. And then after I get done knotting it, I'm gonna take this where it folds, and I'm gonna take one of the larger pieces of the twine, I'm gonna wrap it around and I'm going to secure that so it makes like a little tassel. And then you can kind of cut it to varying lengths if you want and make it the size they want. So then after it's knotted onto the garland, I'm just gonna pinch it down here and cut a piece of twine that's a little bit longer off of the larger twine. And I'm just gonna leave a little bit of this out so that way I can tie a knot off on my tassel as well. But I'm just gonna wrap it around to secure it down a number of times. Really, you can do it as many times as you like the look of it. And I'm gonna make a thicker band. And then once you have it wrapped around as many times as you want, I'm just gonna tie it off. You could do a bow, you could do a knot. So there's our natural tassel, and you can go through if there's strands that are longer than you want, and you can go ahead and trim those off so they're approximately the same size. Or if you wanna leave some of them longer, you can go through and make the tassel look however you want it to look, but that's what it looks like on this side. Through, and I'm gonna repeat for the other side. So I'm gonna cut 10 strands that are all approximately the same length that I want doubled over, and then just tie them onto the end. So I've got like a little twine tassel. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and I want to make sure that there is some give, so I'm not going to tie it right next to the wooden bead. I want to make sure that the beads can kind of slide around a little bit, so I'm trying to leave a little bit of a gap. So I double knotted that, and that's the start of my tassel. And I'll cut off this little extra piece of the thinner twine. And then I'm just going to take, again, a longer piece of the thicker twine, and I'm just going to wrap that around a number of times. So there are my two tassels. They're about the same size and approximately the same idea on both sides. And there is my finished bead garland. I love it. I absolutely love it. So this probably took me about 20 minutes to make, and it took me a little bit longer because I was filming, but these natural beads just work perfectly. I love how they look against the different items, and then you can just take this and you can just drape it over your items around the house that you're wanting to drape it over. I don't think it's gonna stay on this, but I'm trying to get it on there just to show you what it looks like. So you can just drape it over items, and it's a really great accent piece. I really, really like this. It's really cool. So I only used 2 bags of the beads for this. I had an extra bag left over that I'll use on a different project. I already had this larger twine on hand that I used for my burlap wreaths, and then I got this kind of thinner twine, the 1-ply twine, and that was only about $1 something. So all total, I think this cost me less than $10 because I used a coupon on the beads, which brought those to about 40% off, which made them just a couple bucks. So it's about $6 in beads and a couple dollars in twine, and I had my beaded garland. So if you guys enjoyed checking out how I made this beaded garland today, let me know if you have any questions down below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.